I got root access on a Windows server. No exploit, no shellcode, just one shared backup file. Well, and the mindset to use it. Here's exactly how I did it, step by step. I ended with full control of a Windows system. No code injection, no malware, just some thinking and some enumeration, and a very poorly configured SMB share. But to get there, I had to dig. So let's rewind to the very beginning. I started with a basic nmap scan. A lot of ports were open, including SMB, and that meant file shares. So I looked further and saw something even more concerning. SMB guest access was enabled and signing wasn't required, which is dangerous. Well, I had to test this. So I tried to list all the shares in this host. And the command that I used for that was SMB client. So the command was SMB client, capital L, which stands for list, the host itself, and the capital N that stands for no pass. And this was the output. The available shares included admin, C, IPC, and a curious one called backups. That wasn't a default share, so I tried to connect as a guest to the backups share using the command SMB client, then the host, and then the name of the share, so backups, and capital N, that stands for no password. And let's see. And it worked. No authentication, no restrictions. I listed the files and found these two files and this directory. So I grabbed the note.txt file with the command get note.txt, opened a new terminal and saw the contents of the note. And the note said, please don't transfer the entire backup file locally. The VPN to the subsidiary office is too slow. That sentence gave away everything. There was a huge backup file on the share and the admins didn't want anyone copying it. So I followed the trail into the Windows image backup directory. Then I went deeper into this directory and even deeper into the backup directory. And that's where I found it. 2.vhd files that stand for virtual hard disk, as you can see here. This one here was more than 5 GBs. That was likely the main OS partition. And here's the best part. I didn't need to download it. Instead, I could mount it directly and explore the entire operating system from the outside. I created a directory to mount the SMB share using the command sudo makedir in the name of the share, which is in this case SMB share. Then I mounted the SMB share with this command, and let me explain it very quickly. So this part of the command specifies the type of file system, which in this case is the CIFS, and the CIFS is the protocol used by Windows shares. Then this part here is the share that we want to mount, and this is the directory that we just created where we will mount this share. Now this flag here and the user equals to the guest specifies that we will use the guest account. Sorry guys. I clicked enter and I didn't specify any password, so I used a blank password. Basically, with this command, I could now access the files from the Windows machine, as if they were actually on my own computer. Now, let me just tell you that having no output, so no messages, is a good sign. Next, I changed into the directory that had the .vhd file. I didn't need the SMB client connection because now I had the share with all the files that I needed on my computer. I remembered this path because I needed it on my computer. So cd, but first the directory that I created where I mounted the share, and inside you can see that I had all the files that we had on the SMB client connection. So going back, I changed into this directory, then into this one, and then into this one that has our VHD file. So let's see. cd. Now by listing everything, we can see that we have the VHD file here. Now, we need this file because it has the complete Windows partitions, including user profiles and potentially credentials. To mount the VHD file as a disk, I first needed to tell my system how to treat it like a real hard drive. So I loaded the network block device kernel module, also known as NBD, with the command sudo mod probe nbd max part 8. Basically, this command tells Linux, hey, I'm about to interact with a virtual disk. Prepare to handle it like a physical one, with partitions and all. So this is the partitions. With this part of the command, we are telling maximum of partitions is 8. Then I connected the VHD file to a virtual block device using this command. So this command links the file, the .vhd file, to this virtual block device here, allowing Linux to treat it like a real disk. Next, I checked what partitions did exist inside the virtual disk using this command, and the output showed one partition, which is this one here. And this is the partition that actually holds the Windows operating system and all user data. I created a second directory to mount that partition, so this partition here, using the command sudo make dir, and I named the directory vhd mount. And then I mounted this partition using the following command. So basically, I'm mounting this partition inside of this directory, as we did before. To confirm that this actually worked, I listed the contents using the following command: lns, and then the path to the directory where I mounted the partition, like so. And it worked! I had access to users, Windows, program files, and everything else you'd expect on a real Windows machine. Now it was time to extract credentials, and Windows stores password hashes into files, the SUM file and the system file, and both can be found in this path here. Now, before I can use this path, I need to change into the directory that I created where I mounted the second partition. So cd mount and vhd mount. And now I could change into that directory. So cd windows system32 and then config. Inside of this directory, we had the files that I just told you, the SUM and the system. So lns, and here they are, SUM and system. Then I copied the files to my working directory, which was the Bastion directory. Then I went back to the Bastion directory, listed the things, and here I had the SUM and the system files. Now I just needed to extract the password hashes from the SAM using the decryption key from the system and print them out. To do this, I had to use the secretsdump.py file that extracts Windows user password hashes from a backup. It uses the SUM file where the hashes are stored in the system file, which contains the decryption key to recover them. This revealed the NTLM password hashes for several users, including administrator and the L4MPJE. So I copied these users' hash using the following command and pasted it into a file, like so, or saved it into a file, and then used Hashcat to crack the hash. However, because this hash was already cracked once, then I need to use this flag as well. So besides using the same command, I need to also use --show. And here we have our L4MPJE password. I also tried this for administrator, but I couldn't retrieve any password. Moving on, I tried to make a connection with SSH using the following command. So, SSH, the username and the host. I tried with the password that we cracked, and it worked, guys. I had a shell, I was on the system, but only as a standard user. So the first thing that I did was launch a PowerShell to get a more powerful shell. Then I started poking around and listed the installed software, and I noticed that mRemoteNG, as you can see, was installed. And this is a tool used to connect remotely to servers, routers, etc. Now, this tool is interesting because it stores credentials in a file called confcons.xml. So I navigated to the directory where the confcons.xml file is usually stored, which is this one, and then inside was the file confcons.xml, as you can see here. And then I printed its contents on the terminal, and sure enough I found these here: username, administrator, domain, password. So this was an encrypted password, but there's a non-decryption tool for mRemoteNG, which is this one here, which I already had on my computer. So the only thing that I needed to do was copy the password, then go straight to the tool and use it. So Python 3 script and paste the password, and here we have the password. Finally, I tried to log in using SSH and as administrator using the password that I discovered, and I was in full administrator access. And that's how I turned a single backup file into full control of a Windows server. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Stay curious, stay safe, and stay ethical. Bye bye!